Subhash Chandra Bose, a pioneer of India's freedom struggle, was the descendant of the famous Bose family of Cuttack. He, being the night child of his parents, did not receive any special attention from them. His was a well to do middle class family. Naturally, there was not much luxury and lavishness in his home. He himself said, I began life with a sense of diffidence, with a feeling that I should live up to the level already attained by those who precede me. Perhaps this feeling resulted into his zeal to achieve whatever he wanted, but most ironically, he was an introvert. Just imagine, a man who had shaken the world with his fiery speeches was an introvert in childhood. In January 1902, Subhash Bose was sent to school for the first time. Unlike other students, he was so excited to go to school that while running towards the carriage, he slipped, fell down, got bandaged, and was ordered to bed. The Protestant European school was meant primarily for European and Anglo Indian students, with only 15% seat for Indians. All the Bose brothers were students of this school, and Subhash was no exception. His first few years of school was very interesting. He eagerly learnt all the things that was taught, not knowing that the education imparted was not suited to Indian conditions. But slowly, as his consciousness developed, he realized that the curriculum was framed to generate an English mental makeup among the students. Bible lessons were made compulsory. No Indian languages were taught. But small incidents began to open his eyes to the fact that Indians were considered a class lower than the British in the same institution. Indians were not allowed to sit in scholarship exams. There would be occasional quarrels between English and Indian students. Such uninteresting learning created within him a feeling of unhappiness and maladaptation towards the environment and strengthened his desire to join an Indian school. In January 1909, Subhash Chandra Bose bade goodbye to the headmaster of P.E. school. With an urge for Indian education, Subhash Chandra Bose joined the Ravenshaw Collegiate College at 4th grade. There he realized a sudden change on him. On one hand, he had a fantastic knowledge of English, perhaps above the ordinary level, which gained him a special attention among his teachers and among his classmates. But on the other hand, he could hardly read a line of Bengali, his mother tongue. But he was enjoying his surrounding in the way he had longed for. He started making friends and slowly started coming out from the shell of introvertness. In his entire school life, Sir Beni Madhav Das, his headmaster, was the most influential. The parting scene when the beloved headmaster took leave from the school left an unclenching memory in the mind of young Subhash. He realized how much he loved the man only after he realized the sadness of their parting. He said, the wheel of life grinds on regardless of joys and sorrows. In the meantime, two famous spiritual personalities entered in Subhash Bose's life, Swami Vivekanand and Thakur Ramakrishna. Both from their portrait and teachings, a revolution turned his life upside down. Numerous questions which disturbed the teenager's mind were satisfactorily answered by both the saints. But his diversion from studies was obviously not well accepted by his parents, but the more they endeavored to restrain him, the more rebellious he became. Vivekanand's famous saying, revolt is necessary for self fulfillment. When a child is born, its very cry is a revolt against the bondage in which it finds itself, inspired Subhash for the rest of his life. Finally, in 1913, Subhash Bose broke out from the clutches of his parents and shifted to Calcutta. There he started studying in Presidency University. There he easily came in contact with a group of his classmates and seniors of like mindset. There he realized that social service was an integral part of Vivekanand's norms. He started realizing the importance of yoga in one's life. As days went by, the urge for finding a guru within him grew stronger. One fine morning in the summer vacation of 1914, he quietly left on a pilgrimage with another friend. He visited many parts of Upper India, Haridwar, Lachmanjhola, Rishikesh, Vrindavan, Banaras, met many other friends and spiritual gurus just to find out the meaning of life. This tour gave him a huge shock because he saw the real face of India, saw how people were blindly following the caste system, saw what poverty was. This small 4 months journey opened a new India in front of him, the one which he had never seen before. Returning to Presidency College, Subhash Bose college life went on very smoothly until January 1916 when everything turned upside down. Some of the students had manhandled their English professor, Professor Otten. Subhash, being the class representative, was also among the blacklisted students. Although this incident settled within few days, another incident occurred in March which resulted in the suspension of the blacklisted students and rustication of Subhash. Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee tried his best to save Subhash but all in vain. On his journey back to Cuttack, lying on the bunk of his train, Subhash Bose thought, my educational career was at end and my future was dark and uncertain. But I was not sorry. There was no trace of regret in my mind for what I had done. I had rather a feeling of supreme satisfaction, of joy that I had done the right thing, that I stood up for the honor and self respect and had sacrificed myself for a noble cause. After all, what is life without unification? But this was just the beginning. The fire of rebellion which aroused in Subhash Bose's heart that day had a long lasting effect on the British Empire. It was the first step of Subhash turning into Netaji.